This is K-Rockcast, the podcast where music and perspectives collide.
I'm Anne, a music lover who's the ultimate fan.
And I'm Kelly, a professional musician. Join us as we dive into the world of the Rose and other Korean and Asian rock bands.
Sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we'll wildly disagree, but what's guaranteed is a passionate, hilarious, and unfiltered conversation about the music that unites us and the bands that inspire us.
On today's show,
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Into the Night. We are excited to bring you an artist spotlight interview with an artist. Kelly, you found our artist today, and we highlighted his music in a recent episode, our Into the Wardrobe Part 2, in our artist recommendation spotlight. His name is ANSON. I have been diving into his music ever since you brought him to our listeners, and I have become, ANSON, obsessed. I love pop punk and this whole emo sound you have. Kelly says there is a revival. Yes, it is coming,
Definitely.
and we are excited to bring our viewers and listeners your music. So, Kelly, why don't you introduce us to Anson?
So let me introduce you to Anson. So Anson is an LA-based native, and he is one of the pop punk masters. And you're going to fall in love with him. I can promise you that now. So he mixes a beautiful blend of alternative, bleeding heart emo vulnerability, cinematic production, and a huge, huge fat hook. And his songs are going to live in your head days after they've been in your playlist. I mean, we say days after, you're just going to keep listening to them on loop. So, hello, Anson. And our first question for you is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey through music?
Oh, wow. Where to begin? I've been doing music now. I've been doing music my whole life. So that's like over 20 something years. That's crazy to think about. I started playing guitar when I was 5. That was the very first thing that really drew me. I saw a commercial of like a person. At least this is what my dad tells me. I saw like a commercial on the TV of a dude playing guitar, and I was like, I want to try that. And a couple weeks later, I got a guitar, and then it's been my third arm ever since. I started writing music early. I would say like I started writing around like 5th grade, just like messing around with like notes and stuff. And then middle school is when I really started songwriting and started working on the craft as a way to express myself and my feelings. I think when you're an adolescent, you go through such turmoil and such emotional highs and lows. And my upbringing was traumatic in some senses, so it was nice to have that vessel of music for that. And then flash forward to high school, I went to a performing arts high school called LaGuardia, which is the Fame High School. If anyone saw that movie, it's a #1 public arts school in the United States. But I started really honing in further my craft and from an academic perspective there. And then I got signed to like a management production deal when I was in high school, flying to LA and stuff, doing music. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should live in LA because I keep coming here. It seems like it's where the industry is. So I moved here for that. And then I've been here now 11 years, so haven't left LA. And had a lot of different projects growing up, going in and out of bands. My first project thing I ever really had that was a band, like a real band, I would say would be in middle school. I was playing in a Blink-182 Red Hot Chili Peppers cover band. Quite a assortment of music there. But I always wanted to do music. It's always been my passion. I started Anson back in 2017 after doing Anson Lee and other things before that. And this is where I'm at now. So
I love it. So your early EP, To Be or Nothing at All, that came out in 2017, full of deeply personal themes, themes about identity, self-doubt, risk. So now go back to that version of yourself. Let's say that's been like 8 years, right?
Sure.
What would you tell him? What would you ask him?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, I think everyone, when you're younger, you just are maybe not the most mature or maybe just not the most in tune with yourself. So I would definitely tell him to like chill out a little bit because I was such a perfectionist. I was like back then, I was so deep into having everything be perfect, everything needed to be exactly the way it needed to be. And I do think it, because that To Be or Nothing at All came, like the sonic of it did have that essence, which I'm really proud of. But at the same time, it was a labor of love, and there was just a lot. It took so many years. I started working on that record like 2015 actually, and it was originally supposed to be an album, 10 songs, but I recorded 10 songs, and I didn't think any of them were that great except for 4 of them, which are the 4 that made it onto the EP. And yeah, I kind of regret not releasing the rest of it and finishing it out. I like, again, like I think the biggest thing I would have said to myself is perfection is the enemy of done, and sometimes you just gotta move on and keep the wheels turning. I mean, there's a lot of things I would tell myself at that age. Maybe really focus on quality, not quantity of the people in your life.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, no, it's a huge one. Back then there was just, it's LA, you go hang out with all these people, you go party and network and all these different stuff. And I don't know, it's, as the years have gone on, it's a lot of fair weather friends. You got to stick with the people who you really trust and people who really love you. And, I think if I knew that back then, maybe I wouldn't have done certain things of chasing, I don't know, whatever life is. And, that EP had a lot to do with that too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Don't be a crazy kid. That's basically the lesson.
Yeah.
We all have to do that, though. It's just part of growing up. We all have
Yeah,
to do
no, it's a rite of
it.
passage. It's a rite of passage.
It is. So, from your 2017 EP to your more recent work, Up All Night, and may I just say, it is an absolutely fantastic single. I am slightly obsessed with it. It is literally on repeat all the time. It's such a good track.
Thanks.
How do you see your sound evolving? Are there patterns or thought lines and that you always try to preserve? Is there like a core of ANSON all the way through it?
So I've been thinking about that a bit of like, what is ANSON? What is the sonic direction? What is the progression? There are some elements that I've always brought into ANSON, which is, obviously my voice. That's a big one that kind of connects everything together. But the rock guitars. I grew up listening to like Yellow Card and Mayday Parade and Taking Back Sunday and Armor for Sleep, and that era of like the Warped Tour bands, 2005 music really impacted me. And I wanted to bring that sound to my music because at the time when I started ANSON, a lot of those bands had stopped. They were either broken up or on hiatus, or just like the sound was dying or evolving, and a lot of people were not doing that sound anymore. And I really wanted to not only pay homage to it, but continue carrying that torch of like, okay, this is that sound that I really enjoy. I want to keep it going. So that's a through line for sure, and I think Up All Night definitely has that. But to be honest with you, I'm a firm believer as an artist that it doesn't matter the genre; it just matters that it's a good song. So if you listen to my discography, it's quite multi-genred and multifaceted. The before Up All Night, the song before that was Forevermore, which is like an acoustic singer-songwriter folky type song. And for me, there's been over the years a lot of moving around and seeing like trying other things because I value creativity, and I also want to see what the audience latches onto, because maybe it isn't the pop punk thing, maybe it's another thing. So for me, I'm always just trying to write the best songs that I have in my soul, and I think that's what Up All Night is. So
yeah, I love that because I think Kelly and I've kind of talked about this on the podcast with a couple other artist interviews that Music today seems more and more genreless. There's
Mm,
such a blend. And so I think it's good. I think it's a good way to look at your music, Anson, to not focus on trying to create a certain sound or fit in a certain category, but just focus on what story you want to tell,
yeah,
what's coming from kind of your soul. And I think we know that, that inspiration comes from so many different places. Sometimes it can even come to you in really unexpected moments. So maybe walk us through like a recent song or a past song, if you want to use that example, that really kind of came to you out of the blue, like something that just kind of divine, like download. And what was that spark? And then how did you shape it? And how did that song end up in its release?
It's funny you mentioned that because that's for the most part how every single song happens with me.
Mm,
It just kind of appears out of thin air,
yeah,
and it all comes at once. Download is something that I typically say as well because it just feels like I'm just downloading the lyrics, the melodies, the chords, and then I write the song in like, I don't know, an hour less maybe
mm.
sometimes. Like
Wow.
that's when I know it's a
Wow.
good song is when it's like lightning in a bottle. You just capture it and it just takes no time at all. I mean, there's some songs that take me years, like "Up All Night," for example. That it started off as, uh, a song where it came out of thin air, but then to flesh it out to really morph it into what it became, it actually took. It sat there for like a couple of years,
Mm,
and then I brought it to my friends Charlie and Mike and Julian, who I write and play and record with, and Mike and Charlie really helped me hone in on the songwriting side of things to make it
mm,
what it
yeah,
is. And that's kind of like what the process has been recently. But uh, yeah, no, oftentimes though, I'll just be, I don't know, on the train, or I'll be, chilling at a friend's house, and then suddenly this idea will rise and I get like a feeling. Like it's
mm,
less than an idea, it's more of a feeling of like I need to write something. So
mm.
then I know that if I take the moment to capture it, something great will happen, and 9 times out of 10 something usually does. Um
Do you
but yeah,
have
that
a
happens every
physical
day.
notebook, or do you put things in your phone? What do you do in those situations then to make sure in that moment you're not, going to forget it later if you wait?
Oh, I mean, there's a couple different ways. I mean, usually I whip out a guitar, or just do a like a cappella voice memo on my phone, and
Mm,
then with the lyrics, I have a digital notebook that I keep everything in, and I
mm.
use that to flesh things out. I used to do a physical notebook, and I don't know. I have terrible handwriting. If anyone who knows me, when you look at my handwriting, it looks like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old wrote it. So like, even for me, when I go back in those notebooks and try to read what I wrote, I'm just like, wow, like what the fuck did I write? Because
Yeah, like, what was
it's
I even
like,
saying?
yeah. So a couple years
I
back,
do the same.
I had to move. Yeah, I had to move to digital. So now everything's digital, but it's good. It's helpful, and it's still there's a lot of thought, I think, sometimes that comes to the lyrics afterwards. So oftentimes, like I said, it's just like grabbing the lightning and putting it in the bottle and then flushing it out a little bit more. Then I bring it to my friends to help me flush it out even more, and then that's what usually comes out for the
Yeah.
records.
So your songs, when you're writing lyrics, you have this really beautiful way of getting something that's so raw and so
Mm,
specific to you and how you are feeling at the time. But yet you seem to be able to balance it with something really universal that everybody can understand.
mm,
Do you ever kind of worry that it sort of tips either one direction, that you may be in a point where your lyrics are too personal and you can't, like, you struggle to put them out there? Because I know I've been there, and you kind of struggle to put the lyrics out there, or it's that universal, you think surely everybody will get this, but am I not putting enough of myself behind it?
mm,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a balancing act. I don't know. Usually when I write, it's definitely from a very, very personal place, and I do usually end up going over detailed, and then after that, I usually have to, not, I hate to say water it down, but make it more
mm,
generalized or more poetic in imagery, that so it's not something that's so direct of this thing that happened or how I feel or something. So I definitely hear you on that. But that's usually my process, is I get really personal and then try to make it a little bit more generalized, and that's actually a lot harder than you think that, to do. But it's something I think is necessary, because sometimes, like you said, it can be too personal, and then sometimes it gets so personal that sometimes, like, you're writing a song about somebody or a situation, and it gets so personal that they figure out that it's about that, and they might take what I write about that too personally, which has happened before, and
that's probably not good.
It's art. You're trying to evoke emotions and express yourself, but the emotions might not be necessarily the most rational. Like that's not what music's for. It's about trying out these other things and finding these perspectives that maybe are a stretch of reality or something, or a reality that you want. So I always have to be a little bit careful about that as well, because I don't like hurting people. I want to make sure that, it's just art, So, it's definitely a hard one. I just don't tell people if I write a situation or a song about them. I just don't do it anymore. So.
Yeah, with Kelly and I's relationship, she's the musician, she's a professional musician, but I'm the fan. So I always come in our conversations from the perspective of a fan and lover of music. And so personally, I think what I love about your music is that you are talking about, personal topics, but again, as Kelly said, you do it in a way where I can see myself in that. And I think as fans of music, that tends to be the kind of music we will gravitate to the most, is when you're hearing this song and you feel like you can connect to that message in that song. You can connect to the emotion of that song. And so I think just kind of reinforcing, what she shared, I think your music does that, really well. So it's interesting to hear you say it can be kind of challenging to find that balance, but I think you've been able to achieve it in a really high quality way. So also I think what we try to do on K-Rockcast is, we've been trying to focus on independent artists, artists that maybe don't have the big backing of some major record label behind them. We try to do what we can to help bring that artist's music to more listeners with these interviews and the spotlights. And so you, as an independent, artist, you're creating and releasing music yourself. What are the biggest challenges? Is it financial? Is it mental? Is it just getting the most exposure? And then how have you tried to overcome, those obstacles?
Totally. And first off, thank you guys for having me on, and also for just doing that of supporting independent music, because I feel like it's hard out there, honestly. It's you asked what's like, you said what is just like the most difficult thing, I guess. The most difficult thing is releasing something, putting out something into the world when all the chips are stacked against you, and knowing that, like it's so hard to be an artist. You have to wear so many hats, and especially when you're independent and you don't have a team, you're constantly doing everything. You're the graphic designer, you're the stylist, you're the audio engineer, you're the producer, you're the songwriter, you're the CEO. You're wearing all these different hats, and you're really trying to figure out what to do. And for me, being a solo artist, I'm just one person, and that weight can be quite a lot. I'm very grateful for the team I do have, like I said, Mike Orant, who I've been writing for a long time. He's a really good friend of mine. We've been writing songs for a long time now, and he helped me write Up All Night. Like, he's awesome. Charlie Lopresti, who also writes and produces, and he plays bass, and Mike plays guitar. Like, all of us together, and Julian, who plays drums, Julian Obinsky-Euler. I don't know how I'm saying everyone's name, but gotta shout them out. Like, they like, without them, I wouldn't be able to really do what I do. When it comes to actually executing the music, because to make great music, you need great minds, and that's a whole part of it too, is finding the right team of people creatively. And then on the business side too, it's so hard, finding managers and booking agents or labels or anything. When you're independent, it's hard. And honestly, the music industry is such a toxic place. I hate to say it, but like, it's just, a lot of people who are out for themselves are really, it's been hard to find a community. I kind of been feeling a little bit ostracized by like the pop punk emo community, because I know a lot of people that work in that industry who have seen me try this for years, trying to grind it, and it's been frustrating to not get any help. So I would say those are like the biggest things for me. Is like, financially, it is hard as well. I self-fund everything. It's the hardest job out there. I outside of music, I do marketing, and I do like these extensive like marketing plans and data analysis and martech and all these crazy things. But I find that way easier than being an artist. An artist is like the hardest thing to do. So I enjoy the challenge. That's like the thing I enjoy about it. And it's not for me about getting a whole bunch of fans and getting famous. Although I do appreciate anyone who listens. For me, it's really about just expressing myself, getting the art out there, and having a good time about it. I gotta ignore all that terrible stuff essentially. So.
Yeah. And I think I really, appreciate what you're saying about wearing all the hats. And I think that's something that maybe, the average listener of music, fans might not necessarily realize who's an independent artist versus an artist that's got some big record label behind them, right? But I think just respecting and recognizing that most of the artists out there are independent artists that don't have all of these funds and other people doing everything, and you're wearing all those different hats, and how much more that it puts on you, but also respecting that if you go into it with the music, that's your talent, right? You might not have a talent as a graphic designer or marketing professional.
I don't have I suck at graphic design, but you got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to do it. Right. And so I just think, I just want to, again, kind of give that respect to all independent artists, including yourself. And again, that's kind of part of why Kelly and I are trying to do, what we do as well. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. In the end, I do music. Like, it's funny how like in 2025, you have to be an influencer, social media looks so cool, whatever. I don't know. It's like, I just do it for the music. So.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder how many artists prior to like the social media revolution would have actually existed now. I mean, we wouldn't. I mean,
for sure.
The great just wouldn't have made the cut, would they? Because they just wouldn't have had the look. They wouldn't have been able to wear 23 different hats. They wouldn't have been able to, I'm a content creator today, and so on. And it really does. It's bewildering to think how the music world has moved on, but actually it's just become more toxic.
Oh, for sure.
And it's heartbreaking.
I think it's also become less good.
It really has.
There's a lot. There's like millions of songs. I forgot what the statistic is, but there's millions and millions and millions of songs that are coming out every single day, going on Spotify, etc. But not all of them are good. I would say most of them aren't good. And, right now we're in a quantity versus quality kind of world where people just want content, song. But I think that adds a little bit of a detriment to artists because it just makes us exhausted. It makes us frustrated. Art is not something that's meant to be just like constantly thrown out there. You need time to really make it good. So,
exactly.
I totally hear you on that. I agree.
Yeah, it's something that just has bewildered me for ages, to be honest. And you're right, you've got to have that time to develop and evolve and mull over who you are and what you're becoming. And I find it so strange in today's world to think that actually we may not have had somebody like Elton John, or because they they just wouldn't have cut the grade at the time. But so anyway. Let's go back onto the actual list of questions. So you're, we like to digress. Anyway, so your newest single, Up All Night, is described as heartbreak and defiance, a haunting nocturnal energy. Can you unpack the emotional journey behind the song and its origin to the final arrangement?
Yeah, sure. I say the sentiment definitely changed a little bit from the original to the end. This song is one of those songs that appeared out of thin air. You know, I initially wrote the song many years ago when I was just, off of my label that I was signed to at the time. That it was a terrible deal. I'm happy I got out of it, and I was really frustrated. I was like, I need to write like something incredible, and I sat down for like a couple days actually, just writing a whole slew of songs because that was like a very therapeutic journey for me, just to get out of that deal and just be done with it and start over and start making things again. So I was just like writing, and Up All Night was one of those songs that came to me then. The song is about a lot of different things. A lot of the time when I write songs these days is I go back to really traumatic parts of my life or moments of my life, and I try to grab something out of it. So that song, actually, I grabbed two different situations and combined them together. So, I was dating a person at a time who, at least what Up All Night is about, that was a really terrible relationship. We were living together, and it was just toxic, and I don't know, we were just at each other's throats all the time. And, one time we fought, and I ended up like leaving and just like being really pissed off. So I kind of flipped the script about that, and it's actually, the song's about like, this person leaving and me waiting for them, but I was writing it from their perspective essentially. Yeah. And with embellishments, like I said, it's not like, oh, this happened and that happened and that's the song. No, it's it's like two different situations that I combined together and then switched the perspective. And you mentioned themes like before about ANSON, and I tend to write a lot of songs about like love lost and hoping for someone to come back, and like Haley is another one that's like that. And that's kind of where Up All Night at least started. And then as time went on, the lyrics were not good. I mean, I'll be real. So the lyrics when I first wrote them were just not good, and I struggled for years with that. I pocketed the song, let it sit in a hard drive, and then Mike and Charlie, we were working on music. We just finished the Bad Taste EP or somewhere around there. We're like, oh, so what are we gonna work on next? And I was like, I have this song Up All Night. That's, maybe we mess around with it. And they're like, yeah, the song's great, but the lyrics are bad. So Mike and Charlie, shout out to them again. They really helped me make the lyrics what they needed to be and get it over the finish line, so to speak. That's the problem when I write sometimes is when it comes lightning in a bottle situation, it's very hard to change things afterwards, because it's just that's what it was. That was the thought, the inception, So I struggle with that sometimes of finding what's next. I'm fine with letting go. It's more of just like finding the next thing. Yeah. And so Mike and Charlie helped me out, especially on the bridge where there was no bridge before, and we were looking for something that had more dynamics to it and maybe changing up the story a little bit. And so that's kind of like I said, like it kind of got a whole new wash of paint, so to speak, when I brought it to Charlie and Mike, and I'm really happy with how it came out.
Yeah, I think then you did a great job, because I think then what you were able to achieve with kind of evolving the lyrics is, it's just like you said, Kelly, it's a song you want to listen to over and over again. I could call it like an earworm. And I feel like for a song like that, it's got to hit both from just a melody standpoint, but also something catchy in the lyrics that you just can easily sing over and over again. So again, like, it's a great song. Recognition to you and your writing partners on that.
Thank you.
So you have these incredible writing partners today, but let's imagine, Anson, you can pick any artist, dead or alive, that you would collaborate with to write a song with, and maybe even perform it if you'd want. Who would you choose, and like what would you hope to achieve?
That's a really hard question, because I have people that would 1,000% be the weirdest mix together.
Ooh, I love that.
But like for example, like Billy Joel. I love Billy Joel. I look up to him so much. He's one of the best songwriters of all time. I just don't know what a song with me and Billy Joel would sound like. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like,
I Billy Joel doing some emo. We could have Billy Joel doing some emo, right? Like emo.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that would be.
You on guitar, him on piano. That would be incredible. What?
That would, something. if we can make it happen, I would love to. That'd be a dream.
You're on K-Rock Cast. We said it.
Yeah, we'll get our people on it.
Yeah, whoever knows Billy Joel. I still haven't seen him live. He doesn't. I know he's not doing live shows right now because of medical stuff. But like, I've been kicking myself because I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in Forest Hills, Queens, and he had those Madison Square Garden shows for so long, and I didn't go to a single one, and I still kick myself about that because I was like, man, like that would have been great. So yeah.
So other than Billy Joel, have you ever had any other? I wish I went to see that show and you didn't go and see it. Because I literally have a list of my own, and I could kick myself.
Oh, I definitely have a list, and I have a lot of regrets, But at the same time, though, I don't. The problem right now is like ticket prices are so crazy, man. It's like you got to pay $30 now for parking, and you have to pay all these fees for the tickets. It's just like not cool, and it makes me not want to go. And then when I do go, sometimes as an artist, there's a little part of me. And I hate to say it because I love going to shows. I love seeing other people's art, and I love experiencing it, singing along, being in the crowd, all that type of stuff. But then there's also this like little part of me that's like sad that I'm not on the stage doing the thing, And as an artist, like there's a longing, especially when you don't have that platform often. Like I don't tour much because it's financially very financially untenable. It can work sometimes, and I've been grateful for the tours I have been on, but touring is just so expensive and it's so hard. So like for me to not have that to do shows all the time is really, I don't know, it's just like I'm always itching for it. So going to shows and seeing other people play, it's like why am I here? Why am I watching these people? I should go focus on doing my shit to get on the stage. So that's the hard thing with me. So there's like you said, laundry list of regrets of not going to shows. I have so many.
Yeah. I refer to that as want to perform alitis. So literally, I know that
I can see that.
You stand there and you're just like, whoa, and it's So you're not on your own with that one.
Yeah, no, dude. Music is a gift and a curse all at the same time. Because if I liked it just a little bit less, I could probably go to so many shows. Or if I wasn't doing music, I would be able to like enjoy it from that side of things more. I don't know. It's all weird.
It is very, very strange. I am so with you there. It's not even funny. So what's something your listeners might be surprised to learn about you? A hobby, a fear, an obsession? Do you have any weird rituals before you go into the studio or on stage?
Ooh, I mean, I have a lot. I think I'm just a very weird dude in general. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do a lot of things. I mean, things that you wouldn't know. I play tennis. I hike. I mean, people are finding this for my story, I guess. I do gardening. We have like a garden on our roof with like pumpkins and carrots and peppers and strawberries and all that type of stuff. I'm trying to think of what else I do. I don't know. My life is kind of boring, I guess. I mean, I have a dog. His name's Scout. He's super cute. Pretty normal life. I would say I'm very blessed to have that. Weird. I'm trying to think of weird. I love sushi. It's my favorite food in the world.
That's not weird.
I'm trying to think of like, I guess, it depends. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what is like super duper weird. But I mean, making music, I guess, is the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Man, what people don't know about me. I watched a lot of Gilmore Girls. That's like since we're in fall right now, Gilmore Girls is, it's a great show. So, it's like a comfort food. So I guess that's something that people probably did not know.
Oh my God, Anson, I love you even more now. We'll bring you back on in episode interview 2 where we dish about our favorite Gilmore Girls episodes. We'll have that.
Oh, wow. Really? I mean, there's a lot of great ones out there, man. I'm actually, I was just telling my wife about this last night, but I'm watching, I'm on like the episode where Rory's in college and then Lane is auditioning Gil, like the long hair, like older dude for her band that's where I'm at the moment. Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm in deep. I've watched it at least 10 times. So,
I love this.
Yeah, there you go.
That's far more interesting than gardening. So we'll move on.
Yeah. Dude, I got into gardening because I was like, maybe I can grow my own food in LA because I was like, wow, I'm poor and LA is expensive. Maybe I could just grow
Yeah.
my own food. And we've tried. We've gotten a lot of good things. I mean, we just got a whole bunch of carrots and bell peppers, but we're certainly not like fucking like living off of this food. And I
Not
learned a
quite
lot of
doing
valuable
that food
lessons. I
yet.
mean, yeah, it's pretty to have it. One thing too about LA on roofs is like there's caterpillars. I don't even know how they get there, but I think it's because the birds come and then they poop,
Oh.
and then their poop has fucking caterpillars in there. But like, no matter what, you're gonna get a lot of caterpillars, and it's just really hard to get rid of them, and they eat everything. So
Oh, wow.
that is my gardening
Right.
experience for you guys.
So one thing I just need.
Look at all these tips.
So one thing I need to tell you, Anne, close your ears because this isn't part of me that you need to know. Nematodes. Have a look for nematodes. That will get rid of your caterpillars.
Okay, nematodes. I will Google that
Nematodes.
later. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
There you
tried
go.
like water and dish soap. I've tried just like picking them off and like getting rid of them. I tried adding spiders. I was like, "Oh, there's all these spiders over here. Let's put them over here instead." And like, I don't know, they just keep coming back. It's crazy.
Yeah, they've just got a collection of
Awesome.
spiders and caterpillars. No, nematodes. Try those.
Oh, and nematodes. Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
All right. So, Anson, when you kind of first came onto the scene back in like 2012, your music was much like poppier kind of at that point. What made you kind of evolve and kind of change that direction?
Oh, you're talking about like the Anson Lee stuff?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, back then with Anson Lee, I was like, oh, I was young and doe-eyed and I don't know, shiny new Anson, and I was like, okay, I want to be like the boy version of Taylor Swift. And because back then I was like, oh, I'm cute, I can just do the cute thing and just do the cute pop rock thing. So that's what I did, and that's what back then also when I was like high school, college area, I had that management deal, and they were very much go work on that type of thing. It was like a company called New Heights Entertainment, and like they managed like Red One and who does like Lady Gaga stuff and Kelly Clarkson and Earth, Wind and Fire and all these people, and I was like, okay, they're telling me to go this direction. That's probably the right direction. So let's see what a pop rock, Jonas Brother-esque Anson Lee sound would sound like. So that's what I did. And I made 2 EPs with that. And I did house shows. I would tour around the whole country and U.S. and Canada doing house shows at people's houses. And it was really honestly a special period of my life where I look back fondly on, because it was such an adventure, to be so young, to be driving around America and Canada, meeting all these amazing people and playing music for them. It was honestly one of the most incredible experiences of my life, and I wish I could go back. But at the same time, unfortunately, things change. You get older, and you're not the cute boy, with the swishy hair anymore. You're the 30-something-year-old. I'm 32, but like man. What can you do? And I knew that as Anson Lee was ending, I was like, I knew I needed to make music that can transcend age, like something that's not just, oh, this music's cute and it fits with a cute boy, but it's not going to fit with an old man. So that's why I started Anson. I wanted something that was a little bit more progressive, a little bit more darker, alternative, mature, and that's why I started the brand in general, and going towards music that I love, which is that pop punk emo sound. So yeah, I guess that's how it was, and I also made it sound band-esque because I was hoping that as a solo artist, I was tired of being a solo artist. I was like, I want a band, so I was like, oh, if you build it, they will come, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I made like rock band music, and unfortunately, that's also plagued me because I've had people just come in and out of this project. It's a solo artist project, but I've had a lot of people either help or want to help, and then it like failing. And then the last couple of years, though, Mike, Charlie, and Julian, though, has been very stable, and I'm very grateful for that. But if you asked me 5 years ago what the hell was happening, I would be like, oh, it's just a revolving door of people and me trying to keep the ship alive, so to speak. So, yeah, I forgot how we got to here, but Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, just your evolution. You mentioned brand. I think that's an interesting aspect as a music artist. You know, you do have to create a brand around yourself, your music. So how do you describe your brand as Anson?
Oh man, this is something that kills me because like I'm also a marketer, and the marketer in me is like, oh, you need a quick elevator pitch, and then the artist in me is like, oh, it's not so simple. The thing I would say about my life is it's everything about my life is not so simple. Like I'm a half Chinese, Jewish, European man, who grew up in Forest Hills, but also has like a very complex family relationship and just like stuff. I don't know, like it's so hard to brand like me as a person, which I think bleeds into me, defining what Anson is. But I think at the heart of Anson, it's just me trying to express myself. Yeah, it's really hard. I guess right now I would say it's emo pop punk if you really wanted to put the marketer on me, but the artist in me would say, oh, it's a multi-genre project. It's really hard to brand, and I think that's the biggest struggle actually for me right now is that what is this package that I'm giving to the world? And I think a lot of people from that get confused, or it's hard for them to latch onto, and that's something that I'm actually actively working on, is trying to figure out what is this visual and sonic brand, because I do move around a lot, and that's fun and it's great, but at the same time though, I'm sure for fans sometimes they're like, wait, why did Anson release an acoustic song? Why did Anson release an EDM song? Like, what's going on here? And but yeah, I guess the brand is that there is no brand, and that's cool too in its own right. So
Yeah, I think it goes back to, the brand doesn't always have to be the genre, but your brand could be what we talked about, earlier, that through line. When your listeners are listening to an Anson song, it could be an EDM, or it could be acoustic, or it could be this upbeat pop punk. But your fans always know that there's that thread of commonality that makes it an Anson song, whether it be, what you're talking about, how you're presenting that to your audience, your voice, as you mentioned, being part of it. So, but it becomes that ongoing identity, right? It's like, what is your identity as a music artist, and how do you leverage that to your listeners?
Yeah, I think it's authenticity. If I had to actually put one word on it, I try to be as true and as honest as I can be in my music, and who I am as a person. I'm not like glamming up and doing all this stuff or talking about things I don't know about. I write about what's real for me and what means to me. So I think that's what the brand is just me being authentically me.
Yeah. And I think people gravitate to authenticity. People gravitate to that realness. So keep focusing on that, because people will gravitate to that.
I'm hoping.
All right. Yeah. So Kelly, why don't you kind of start to wrap us up with Anson today? We have kind of a fun question next.
So we've got one last question for you. And I have a feeling your list is possibly going to be very similar to what my list is. Who would be on your ultimate festival list?
Oh, ultimate festival list. Ooh.
Ultimate festival.
Honestly, I kind of lived out my ultimate festival at the first when we were young. That was a pretty epic lineup of artists. But I mean, I don't know, Paramore, Taking Back Sunday, The Story So Far.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is hard. I mean, do I get like unlimited bands and artists?
Yeah,
like, unlimited. Okay. John Mayer, Billy Joel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw out names. The Beatles are gonna do a reunion because why not?
Why not?
Led Zeppelin too. They're gonna just we're gonna go back in time. Yellow Card, Mayday Parade. I'm trying to think of like I want to pick like other Taylor Swift, because why not? Man, I'm just thinking about like how can I make this even weirder? Oh, Huey Lewis and the News.
Okay. Now we're getting
Yeah. No, I'm just going multiple genres now. We're just going multiple
now.
decades. Chopin. There's gonna be like a reunion of like a Broadway show. I'm trying to think of like a good Broadway show to throw in there too. That's going to be playing in the background. Like if you like, you can like tune in and out of the Broadway show at the music festival as well.
At a music
How to Succeed in
festival?
Business Without Trying. Yeah, there you go.
It's gotta be Rent.
Oh, Rent.
The
Yeah,
music
sure.
for
Yes,
Rent
Rent is
is
great. I love Rent.
incredible.
Yeah,
Good
Rent's a
choice,
great one.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll have the cast of Rent also coming back because why not? Coldplay. I love some
Yeah.
Coldplay. Yeah, I mean I think that's a pretty lengthy list already, but we could throw just to even make it like even stranger, we're gonna throw in I'm trying to think of like what makes it even crazier. We'll throw in Snoop Dogg because why not? Who doesn't like
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, why
I'm trying to man, what's that band? I'm trying to think of the man. I'm like blanking. I might have to go on Spotify for this, but Die Antwoord. There you go. Die Antwoord, and that's it. We're done. Cool.
I love
Good,
it.
good selection.
Mishmash.
I'd go to that festival. I think I'd be in for that definitely.
By the way,
It's quite sizable.
You're giving me this total Mark from Rent vibe. Actually, now that I think about it, I feel like
Sick.
you could. Yeah, I think you could play that part. I could see that.
I've never done
totally.
Broadway, but I've thought about it. I mean, it's its own path, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's something for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up with our fun "Would You Rather." Now, I think actually we got this, Kelly, from some insider
Yeah, this
information with
this
this
is from a
scenario,
mutual. I think is the correct term.
Yeah, a mutual.
A mutual.
right? Okay, Anson. So, yeah. So, would you rather? I'm gonna give you a scenario. If you were in a car and a sandwich happened to fly into your lap through an open window, would you eat it or be like, what the fuck?
I have some questions.
Oh no, are you like Kelly?
Is the sandwich wrapped? Is the sandwich wrapped or not? That's all I need to know. Is the sandwich wrapped? Or is it just they handed me like a plain, like a bare ass sandwich, like the bread and everything? They threw it in onto my lap.
I'm gonna go it's unwrapped.
It's unwrapped. Okay. Is there a bite in it?
No.
Yeah, I'll eat it. Because why not? I mean, yeah.
I
such is
love
life.
you even more. Maybe this is even more than the Gilmore Girls fact I learned about you. Because I feel like I would eat that sandwich too.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it didn't look bad and it wasn't
Yeah, I'm
moldy,
hungry.
you know what I mean? It depends on what's on it, obviously. But if it's like a good sandwich or like it looks
Yeah.
like okay, then
I
yeah.
can
I'll
honestly,
probably
Nothing wrong with that.
I can honestly say, Anne'd look and go, "Oh, there's a bite mark in it, but it's okay. I'll start at the other side."
Yeah, I mean, you could also do it that way too. It depends on how hungry I am, you know. Like if I'm really hungry, yeah, let's go. But you know,
Actually, Kelly knows me way too well now after a year of doing this podcast. Because that's actually probably true. That's very true.
well, I have a question for you guys. What's your favorite thing about that you guys have learned about each other?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm
Fun
turning the tables.
question. You are turning the tables, Anson. Look at you. Oh, wow.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go blank now. Literally, I've just got a wheel going. I don't know.
I feel like I could answer Kelly's.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, go on then.
So, Anson, okay, we
Okay.
have this episode, and it came out on air too, where I admitted to Kelly that I microwave my tea.
Oh, for
when I
fuck's
make
sake!
tea.
Oh,
I think
okay.
As a
Is
British
this sacrilege for the British?
Yes. Yes.
It's not
she's
even.
never
It's
looked
not
at
even
me the same
sacrilege.
way
She is
again.
getting a kettle for Christmas. You do
Ah.
realise Santa's
2
bringing
minutes
you
in
a
the
kettle.
microwave. That's all you
No,
need.
no, you
2
need
minutes.
a kettle. It's got to boil. It's got to go to 100 degrees. You've got to steep the tea back. Then you can add
Oh my
milk and
God.
sugar as required. You start an argument now.
Kelly has all these little British isms, Anson. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
so funny because half the time she talks to me and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't know what that means.
I love the British idioms and just words. You know, I've never been to England, but I not too long ago worked for a company where it was based in the UK, so I had to interface
Mm.
with a lot of people from the UK, and there's just so many great. The language that you guys have, I feel like it's lost in America. You know, we we
Oh,
Yes.
we we
completely.
dumb down the English language while you guys are so prolific with it, and I appreciate that.
I do too. So I think that's for me. Like I've learned all these Britishisms. You know what else, Anson? I've really learned that you shouldn't say pants.
No,
You shouldn't.
You
no.
shouldn't.
It's
We should say
trousers.
Trousers?
trousers because
Definitely trousers.
apparently, Anson, pants means your underwear.
Yeah, I didn't clock that. I definitely did not get
Neither.
that when I was a kid. I
Neither.
still don't. Yeah, trousers, pants. Yeah, it's like uni. Yeah, it's all those words. Yeah,
Right.
it's
So
interesting. Yeah,
you and I
everything's
would
different.
say, yeah, we would say
I
pants
mean,
because
then
that
again,
means the
what?
same thing
I'm
to
so,
us as
I'm
trousers.
sorry. What language do you two speak? What's your
See,
native
there we go.
language?
This
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
happens with
Yeah,
Kelly and I.
no, this is, and I don't blame you both for this. This is a problem with our culture. We're like, when we did the revolution and separated from the United Kingdom, we said, hey, we're just going to reinvent everything, and because of
Yeah.
that, we
Yeah,
now have
everything.
all this other stuff, which is
Yeah,
it's interesting the realities we build for this world. It's fascinating.
and it all
That's
started
fun.
with
Well,
tea
it
being
was such
lobbed
a
in the
pleasure to
harbour.
talk with you today, Anson.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Good dialogue, good conversation. Is there anything as we wrap up that you want to promote for our listeners?
Sure. Yeah, you can find me at Anson Official anywhere you are on social media if that's what you do. Go check out my new song Up All Night. It is uh my current favorite song of what I've written, and check out the rest of the music, and hopefully one day if you see me on the street or at a show, come say hey, and let me know that you listen to this podcast, and we'll talk.
You have to let us know if you get a gig, if you got a
Yeah.
gig coming up, you're going to be performing live. We would love to be promoting that. But yeah, as he said, listeners and viewers, check out Up All Night. It is an earworm. You will be streaming it on repeat, just like we are too. All right. Thank you so much, Anson.
Thanks for
And see
having
Thank
you in
me.
the next
you.
Take care.
episode. Bye.
Bye.
Kelly, that was a great conversation with Anson. Listeners and viewers, you got to check out his music. I know you're going to love it as much as Kelly and I do. Please rate our podcast. Leave us comments about this episode. We'd love to hear your feedback. Follow us on social media on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. We are at KROK_cast all across the board.
Click here to subscribe.
We are also on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our Patreon members. If you want to be a member, it's so easy to join, and there are great benefits like access to exclusive content, virtual hangouts, and discounts on upcoming merchandise. Please email us at krock.cast@gmail.com. We read those emails. Kelly responds to every email that comes in. It's a great way for you to connect with us, talk about our episodes, talk about the music, anything you want to share. We love to connect with our listeners and viewers. And don't forget our great website, krockcast.com. All right, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.